Commander Jack Murphy stood at the observation deck of Earth Defense Station Alpha, his eyes fixed on the holographic display. Massive alien ships approached from the edge of the solar system. Hundreds of them, maybe thousands. How long until they reach the outer colonies? He asked, his voice steady despite the cold fear settling in his stomach. Lieutenant Olivia Martinez tapped rapidly on her datapad. 36 hours at their current speed. Sir. Murphy nodded, running a hand through his short brown hair. This was the moment humanity had prepared for since they first ventured beyond their home planet. First contact with an advanced alien civilization, but not the peaceful meeting they had hoped for. Send word to Admiral Collins. Priority Alpha. We have company. Within 3 hours, the command center of Earth Defense Headquarters buzzed with activity. Admiral Henry Collins, a tall man with weathered features and steel-gray hair, studied the incoming data with narrowed eyes. What do we know about them? He asked the room of officers and analysts. Dr. Samantha Wilson, head of xenobiology, stepped forward. They call themselves the Crescent Empire. From what our deep space probes have gathered, they control roughly 70% of the known galaxy. They have a rigid hierarchy and expand through conquest. Collins frowned. And now they found us. As if on cue, all screens in the command center flickered. A face appeared, humanoid but clearly alien, with pale blue skin, no visible hair, and eyes too large for its narrow face. People of Earth, the alien said in surprisingly good English, I am Supreme Commander Vex of the glorious Crescent Empire. Your planet and colonies now fall under our domain. Submit to imperial rule within 1 Earth day, or face elimination. Your primitive technology cannot hope to stand against the might of our armada. The transmission ended abruptly. Collins looked around the room at the shocked faces of Earth's military leadership. Options. General Susan Baker spoke first. We could try diplomacy. They clearly understand our language. While preparing our defenses, added Commander Frank Ross of the Mars Military Division. Collins nodded. Get me a direct line to their command ship. Establishing communication took several hours. When the alien commander's face appeared again, Collins stood straight and spoke clearly. This is Admiral Henry Collins of the Earth Defense Fleet. We wish to establish peaceful relations with the Crescent Empire. There is no need for conflict. The Crescent commander made a sound that might have been laughter. Peace? Your species is barely out of its cradle. You have nothing to offer the Empire except submission. Our scans show your technology is primitive. Your weapons are laughable. You've never encountered humans before, have you? Collins asked, his voice calm. Your species is insignificant. We have conquered beings far more advanced than you. Collins leaned forward slightly. Then let me offer some advice. Withdraw your forces now. We have no desire for war, but if forced, we will defend ourselves. For your own safety, withdraw. The alien's large eyes widened further, then narrowed. You dare threaten the might of the Crescent Empire. This is most amusing. I will keep recordings of these transmissions to entertain the Emperor after your swift defeat. The transmission ended. Collins turned to the gathered leadership. Sound the alarm. Activate all defense protocols. Evacuate civilians from the outer colonies. Do you think they'll really attack? Asked Lieutenant Martinez, who had been quietly observing. Without question, Collins replied. They've conquered their way across the galaxy. They won't stop now. But they know nothing about us, Murphy said. About what humans can do when threatened. Collins nodded grimly. That's their first mistake. In his flagship at the edge of the solar system, Emperor Zorax watched the human transmission with amusement. These bipeds with their fragile bodies and emotional faces had actually warned him to run. Prepare the first wave, he ordered. Show these humans what it means to defy the Crescent Empire. His officers hurried to obey, none of them concerned about the upcoming battle. After all, it was just another primitive species to add to their collection. They had no idea what was waiting for them. The Crescent fleet descended on New Horizon Colony like a storm. Massive warships darkened the skies as they positioned themselves over major population centers. Colony Governor Sophia Bennett watched from the Emergency Command Center, her face grim but determined. "Evacuation status," she demanded. 70% of civilians loaded onto transports, her aide replied. "The last ships leave in 20 minutes. Bennett nodded. "They need to be gone before the bombardment starts." On the edge of the colony's space, Captain Nathan Rodriguez and his small defensive fleet faced the impossible. The EDF Defiant, a medium-class cruiser, seemed tiny against the wall of Crescent battleships. "All ships, defensive formation Delta," Rodriguez ordered. "We just need to buy time for the evacuation ships." His crew worked with quiet efficiency, knowing their chances of survival were slim. Lieutenant Carrie West looked up from her station. "Sir, the Crescents are hailing us." The alien commander appeared on screen. "Your resistance is pointless. Surrender now, and we may spare some of your people as servants." Rodriguez smiled thinly. "We have a saying on Earth. Come and get us." He cut the transmission and turned to his crew. "Launch all fighters. Execute Delay Protocol Omega." The battle began with a flash of energy weapons. The human ships darted between the larger Crescent vessels, using their superior maneuverability to avoid direct hits while landing precise strikes against vulnerable points. Still, they were hopelessly outnumbered. "Sir, the last evacuation ships are away," West reported as the Defiant shuddered under enemy fire. "Good," Rodriguez said. "Signal Earth Command. New Horizon is lost. Operation Phantom is go." Back on Earth, Admiral Collins received the message. "Activate the Phantom Fleet," he ordered. Captain Allison Grant stood on the bridge of the EDF Spectre, the first of Earth's new generation of warships. Hidden in the shadow of Neptune, her fleet of 15 advanced vessels waited. "All ships prepare for quantum displacement," she ordered. "Target coordinates locked. Weapons hot." The Phantom Fleet, Earth's most closely guarded secret, vanished from its hiding place and reappeared in the middle of the Crescent formation attacking New Horizon. The alien ships, unprepared for enemies materializing among them, had no time to react. "Fire all banks," Grant commanded calmly. The Spectre and its sister ships unleashed devastating volleys from multiple angles. Crescent vessels, designed for head-on combat, suddenly found themselves under attack from inside their own formation. Confusion spread through the alien fleet. On his flagship, Crescent Commander Vex watched in disbelief as his battle screen showed 30% of his force destroyed in minutes. "How did they get past our sensors?" he demanded. "Where did these ships come from?" "Unknown, sir," his tactical officer replied, voice shaking. They just appeared." Vex snarled. "Order a tactical retreat. Regroup at Rally Point 6. As the Crescent ships withdrew, Captain Rodriguez allowed himself a small smile despite the damage to his own vessel. Seems they didn't expect that. In Earth Defense Headquarters, Admiral Collins watched the battle reports come in. "Activate Protocol Thunderbolt," he told his officers. "The Crescents have shown their intentions. Now we show ours." Across Earth's colonies and on the planet itself, hidden military installations hummed to life. Weapon systems that had been developed in secret for decades prepared for war. In his imperial chamber, Emperor Zorax received the battle reports with growing anger. "These humans fight differently," his military advisor said hesitantly. "They have technology we did not detect." "It changes nothing," Zorax snapped. "Prepare the main fleet. We will crush these insects completely." But for the first time in centuries, a flicker of doubt crossed the Emperor's mind. Perhaps these humans should have been studied more carefully before confrontation. The war had only just begun, and already it wasn't going according to plan. The emergency alert sounded throughout Earth's military installations. "Operation Retribution is now active," announced Admiral Collins over the secure channel. "All units prepare for immediate deployment." Across the planet and throughout the colonies, humanity's unified forces mobilized with practiced precision. The years of preparation, hidden from public view, were finally being put to use. In the Advanced Defense Laboratory beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Alan Foster and Dr. Diane Powell worked frantically to complete their latest project. The laboratory buzzed with activity as scientists and engineers raced against time. Nova Shield is at 98%, Dr. Powell said, her fingers flying across the control panel. She hadn't slept in 36 hours, but her eyes remained sharp and focused. Dr. Foster nodded, checking the final calculations. If this works, it will protect Earth and the inner colonies from orbital bombardment. When it works, Powell corrected him with a tired smile. It has to work. Meanwhile, on the captured Crescent scout ship, Lieutenant Commander Mason Kelly led his team of Special Forces operatives toward their target. They moved silently through the alien vessel, their adaptive camouflage suits blending seamlessly with the ship's interior. Command ship is 3,000 kilometers ahead, Kelly whispered into his comm. Infiltration team in position. His team had trained for years for this moment, studying alien technology and tactics. Earth had been preparing for extraterrestrial threats since the discovery of alien ruins on Mars in the mid-21st century. Remember, Kelly told his team, our job is to plant the AI virus and extract. The virus will do the rest. In Earth's orbital command center, technicians activated the battle networks. These advanced AI systems could analyze enemy tactics and adapt in real time, giving human forces a critical advantage. The networks have been kept dormant until needed, hidden from alien observation. Captain Rodriguez, whose fleet had been presumed destroyed during the New Horizon battle, watched as his ship's stealth systems deactivated. His vessels had not been destroyed but had instead gone dark, drifting quietly behind Accretion forces. Now they powered up, appearing suddenly on enemy scanners directly behind their fleet. All ships target their propulsion systems, Rodriguez ordered. Fire at will. The surprise attack caught the Crescent rear guard completely unprepared. Human ships struck with precision, crippling multiple vessels before the aliens could respond. On his flagship, Emperor Zorax received increasingly disturbing reports. His face darkened with each new message. How is this possible? He demanded of his generals. You said these humans were primitive. Admiral Drex bowed low. My Emperor, it appears they have been concealing their true capabilities. Our intelligence was incomplete. Incomplete. Zorax hissed. They are using tactics we've never seen before. Their ships appear and disappear at will. Their weapons adjust to our defenses faster than should be possible. Another officer approached cautiously. Sire, we've discovered something concerning. Historical data suggests these humans evolved as predators on their home world. Their warfare strategies reflect this heritage. They do not fight like any species we've encountered. Zorax's eyes narrowed. You're saying we attacked a predator species without proper study. Evidence indicates they've been preparing for extraterrestrial threats for decades, the officer continued. They found alien technology early in their development and reverse-engineered it, while pretending to be less advanced than they are. In Earth Command, Admiral Collins reviewed Mason Kelly's successful mission report. The AI virus was now spreading through the Crescent communication network, gathering intelligence and disrupting commands. Begin Phase 2, Collins ordered. Show them what humanity can really do when threatened. Throughout human space, hidden fleets and weapons platforms activated. Military installations that had appeared to be civilian outposts revealed their true nature. The full might of humanity's defense forces emerged from the shadows. The Crescents had made a critical error. They had judged Earth by its public face, never suspecting the military buildup happening beneath the surface. They had expected an easy victory. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. The red dust of Mars swirled around the defense platforms as Crescent dropships descended through the thin atmosphere. Major Lisa Thornton stood at the command center of Olympus Base, watching the enemy approach on multiple screens. They've committed nearly a third of their remaining forces to taking Mars, her second-in-command said. Thornton nodded grimly. They think Mars is weakly defended because we evacuated most civilians. They don't understand what we've built here. The Cretan forces landed in waves, thousands of alien troops and war machines spreading across the Martian surface. They moved with confidence toward the human settlements, their commanders certain of an easy victory. "Let them get closer," Thornton ordered. "Wait until they're all committed." When the alien forces were halfway to the main colony, Thornton gave the signal. "Activate the defense grid." The Martian surface seemed to come alive. Hidden bunkers opened, revealing automated defense turrets. The ground shifted as camouflage barriers rose, cutting off the Cretan advance forces from their support units. The trap was sprung. "Deploy the nanoswarms," Thornton commanded. From launch tubes around the perimeter, clouds of microscopic robots filled the air. Invisible to the naked eye, the swarms descended on the Cretan forces like a technological plague. The aliens watched in horror as their weapons and vehicles began to disintegrate, the advanced nanobots methodically disassembling them molecule by molecule. Back on the Cretan command ship, reports of the disaster on Mars reached the high command. Admiral Drex studied the footage with growing alarm. "What are these weapons?" he demanded. "How do they work?" The Cretan scientists appeared shaken. "It's some form of molecular disassembly technology. The particles identify non-human technology and break it down into base components." Drex turned to his fellow officers. "We must withdraw from the Mars theater immediately. These humans possess technology we didn't know existed." In his imperial chamber, Emperor Zorax received the news with cold fury. "No retreat," he commanded. "Send the reserve fleet. Crush them completely." Admiral Drex bowed, but his doubts were visible. "Your Majesty, I believe we should reconsider. These humans appear to have evolved as a predator species. Their cognitive approach to warfare is unlike anything we've encountered. Are you suggesting the mighty Cretan Empire cannot defeat a single planet?" Zorax sneered. "I'm suggesting we have underestimated them at every turn," Drex replied carefully. Meanwhile, on Earth, General William Hayes prepared to execute the next phase of humanity's counteroffensive. "Operation Ghost Protocol is a go," he announced to his command staff. Across 3 star systems, human forces moved in perfect coordination. The AI battle networks coordinated their actions with millisecond precision. Earth ships appeared and disappeared using quantum displacement technology, striking Cretan forces from impossible angles and vanishing before they could respond. Lieutenant Kyle Bennett, a communications specialist on the EDF Intrepid, made a breakthrough discovery during the battle. "Captain, I found a way to disrupt their neural network communications," he reported. "Their ships are linked through some kind of biological quantum entanglement." Within hours, human forces were exploiting this weakness, severing the connections between Cretan ships and throwing their formations into chaos. On New Horizon Colony, Earth forces landed in the ruins of the once thriving settlement. Captain Rodriguez led the Liberation Force himself, his face grim as he surveyed the destruction. "We'll rebuild," he promised the few colonists who had remained hidden. "And the Cretans will pay for this." In a secure briefing room, Cretan scientists presented their latest analysis to their increasingly concerned leadership. "These humans appear to have something we've never encountered before," the lead scientist explained. "They evolved as apex predators on a death world. Their entire evolutionary history prepared them for warfare in ways we can't fully comprehend." "What are you saying?" demanded an Imperial officer. The scientist looked troubled. "I'm saying that when they warned us to run, perhaps we should have listened." Emperor Zorax paced his command chamber, the holographic displays showing the deteriorating situation across multiple fronts. The war had not gone as planned. Not at all. "Bring the Imperial Reserve Fleet," he ordered, his voice cold with rage. "Every ship, every weapon. We will end this human problem once and for all." His generals exchanged nervous glances. The Imperial Reserve had never been fully deployed in the Empire's 1,000-year history. It represented the final, overwhelming might of Cretan power. "It will be done, Emperor," the Grand Admiral said with a bow. Across the galaxy, massive shipyards activated as the reserve fleet prepared for battle. Over 10,000 warships, the most powerful in the Crescent arsenal, moved toward Earth. Meanwhile, Captain Laura Fisher stood on the bridge of the EDF Spectre, her stealth vessel approaching the Crescent homeworld undetected. Her mission was among the most daring of the war. "Status report," she demanded quietly. "We're past their outer defenses," her first officer replied. "They have no idea we're here." Fisher nodded. "Begin deployment of the disruptor satellites. Target their orbital defense grid." Her crew worked with practiced efficiency, releasing small, nearly invisible devices that attached themselves to the Crescent defense platforms. Once in place, they would render the defenses useless when activated. Back on Earth, the Lazarus Protocol was revealing its true power. Defense systems that the Crescents believed they had destroyed came back online, having merely been dormant. Entire fleets that appeared to have been lost reappeared, their transponders suddenly active again. "The beauty of the protocol," Admiral Collins explained to his officers, "is that it creates the illusion of victory for the enemy. They think they're winning until the moment they realize they've lost." Commander Eric Washington led the Psychological Warfare Division, broadcasting carefully crafted messages directly to Crescent troops. The messages exploited weaknesses in Crescent psychology, creating fear and confusion. "Their species evolved as herd animals," Washington explained. "They're vulnerable to suggestions of isolation and abandonment. We're making them believe their commanders have left them behind." The effects were devastating. Across multiple fronts, Crescent forces began to break down, with some units surrendering or retreating without orders. Inside the Crescent Empire itself, trouble was brewing. Multiple worlds, seeing resources diverted to the human war, began to question imperial rule. Some openly called for negotiation with the humans. 3 systems have already requested separate peace talks, Admiral Drex informed Emperor Zorax. "They fear the humans more than they fear us." "Traitors," Zorax spat. "They will be dealt with after we crush Earth." "Your Majesty," Drex said carefully, "perhaps we should consider the humans' original offer. They only asked us to withdraw." Zorax turned on him with fury. "You suggest surrender to primitives. The Empire has never known defeat." "And yet," Drex said quietly, "these humans continue to surprise us at every turn." On Earth, Admiral Collins drafted terms for peace: complete Crescent withdrawal from human space and reparations for the destroyed colonies. "Send it to every Crescent command ship," he ordered. "Let them know the offer remains open." Meanwhile, Dr. Powell completed work on the Prometheus Matrix, an AI system designed to predict Crescent tactics before they occurred. The system analyzed thousands of battle records, creating a perfect model of Crescent military thinking. "With this," she told General Hayes, "we'll know what they plan to do before they do it." As the Crescent Reserve Fleet approached Earth, several Imperial worlds openly broke with the Emperor. They sent messages to Earth, seeking separate agreements. "The Empire is fracturing," Admiral Collins observed. "They've never faced a serious military challenge before." But Emperor Zorax was not ready to admit defeat. As his massive fleet assembled for the final assault on Earth, he made his intentions clear to his commanders. "Either we destroy these humans," he declared, "or there will be no empire to return to." The largest battle in galactic history was about to begin. The massive Crescent Reserve Fleet darkened Earth's skies as it approached. 10,000 warships, arranged in perfect formation, prepared to unleash destruction unlike anything the planet had ever seen. On view screens across Earth, civilians watched with a mixture of fear and determination. General William Hayes stood in the Global Defense Command Center, studying the holographic display of the incoming armada. His face betrayed no emotion as he assessed the threat. "They've committed everything," he said quietly, "just as we expected." Around him, operators prepared Earth's unified defense grid, the network of ground-based weapons, orbital platforms, and automated systems represented decades of preparation for this exact scenario. Defense grid at 100%, reported Colonel Jane Miller. All systems linked and responsive. Hayes nodded. Activate planetary shield on my mark. In space, Captain Nathan Rodriguez commanded the forward defense fleet. His ship, the EDF Defiant, had been patched together after the earlier battles. It wasn't fully repaired, but Rodriguez had refused to sit out the final confrontation. All ships, defensive positions, he ordered. Remember the drill. We engage, we redirect, we survive. The Crescent fleet opened fire with a devastating barrage. Energy weapons and missiles streaked toward Earth in overwhelming numbers. The human defense fleet responded, their smaller, more maneuverable ships darting between the massive alien vessels. The Prometheus Matrix is tracking their attack patterns, Lieutenant West reported to Rodriguez. Uploading countermeasures now. Earth's defensive fires seemed to anticipate the Crescent movements. Human weapons struck at vulnerabilities the aliens didn't know they had exposed. Emperor Zorax watched in growing frustration as his attacks failed to break through. How are they predicting our movements? He demanded. Unknown, Emperor, his tactical officer replied. It's as if they know our battle plans in advance. Deploy the planet killers, Zorax ordered coldly. End this now. 3 massive ships moved forward from the center of the Crescent formation. These doomsday weapons had destroyed civilizations before, capable of shattering a planet's crust. Rodriguez saw the threat immediately. All ships, focus fire on those planet killers, he commanded, but the Crescent fleet surrounded their superweapons with layers of defenders. We can't get through their screen, Rodriguez realized. He made his decision in an instant. All crew to escape pods. Set collision course with the lead planet killer. Captain, West protested. Do it now, Rodriguez said firmly. Get everyone off this ship. As the Defiant accelerated toward the Crescent superweapon, Earth's command center received the alert. Rodriguez is sacrificing the Defiant, Admiral Collins reported grimly. General Hayes nodded. Activate the planetary shield now. Across Earth's surface, massive generators hummed to life. An energy field began to form around the planet, growing stronger by the second. The Nova Shield, humanity's final defense, was deploying. Lieutenant Olivia Martinez, leading a strike team that had infiltrated the Crescent flagship, fought her way toward the command center where Emperor Zorax directed the battle. 2 more corridors, she told her team as they advanced. Remember, we want him alive if possible. The Defiant accelerated to maximum speed, aiming directly for the lead planet killer. Rodriguez remained on the bridge alone, manually guiding his ship toward its target. The Crescent vessel tried to evade, but Rodriguez anticipated its movements. For New Horizon, he whispered as his ship struck the planet killer. The resulting explosion tore through the Crescent weapon, destroying it completely. Across human space, colonies that had seemed neutral suddenly revealed their true allegiance. Hidden human fleets emerged from camouflage bases, striking at the Crescent fleet from unexpected directions. The human diaspora had returned to defend their homeworld. On the Crescent command ship, Admiral Drex watched the battle turning against them. The humans fought with a coordinated fury unlike anything in galactic history. They combined technologies in ways the Crescents had never imagined. Drex made his decision. He approached Emperor Zorax from behind. Forgive me, he said quietly, but this madness must end. The coup was swift and decisive. As Zorax fell, Admiral Drex took command of the Crescent forces. All ships, he ordered, cease fire immediately. Admiral Drex stood in the Grand Hall of the New Geneva Peace Conference, his blue skin contrasting with the simple white uniform he wore. Around him, representatives from across the galaxy watched as he approached the document laid out on the ceremonial table. As acting leader of the Crescent Empire, he announced, his voice steady, I hereby sign the Treaty of New Geneva, ending hostilities between our peoples. He pressed his hand to the document, making it official. Across the table, Admiral Collins did the same for Earth and its colonies. The war that had threatened to destroy both civilizations was officially over. History will remember this day, Collins said, not as a victory for either side, but as the beginning of a new understanding. The terms were fair but firm. The Cretan Empire would withdraw from all human territories. They would pay reparations for the colonies they had damaged or destroyed. Most importantly, they recognized Earth and its settlements as the sovereign Terran protectorate, a new power in the galaxy that demanded respect. In the medical center of Earth's orbital station, Captain Nathan Rodriguez opened his eyes for the first time in weeks. His last memory was of piloting the Defiant toward the Cretan planet killer. Now he found himself alive, with Lieutenant Olivia Martinez sitting beside his bed. "Welcome back, Captain," she said with a smile. "You missed all the excitement." "How?" he asked, his voice raspy from disuse. "My strike team found you in an escape pod," Martinez explained. "You must have changed your mind about going down with the ship. Good thing, too." Rodriguez shook his head slightly. "I never made it to an escape pod." They looked at each other, the mystery hanging between them. Someone or something had saved him, but neither could explain how. Across the galaxy, the news spread quickly. The mighty Cretan Empire, unchallenged for 1,000 years, had been fought to a standstill by a species most had never heard of before. The galactic community reassessed their understanding of humans. "They are not merely another race," wrote one alien philosopher. "They appear to be a guardian species evolved to protect and defend. We would do well to learn from them rather than challenge them." On the rebuilt colony of New Horizon, Governor Sophia Bennett stood before the newly constructed memorial. The simple stone monument listed the names of those lost in the first Cretan attack. Families gathered around, placing flowers and mementos at its base. "We remember the fallen," Bennett said, "but we also celebrate our survival and renewal. New Horizon lives again." In Earth's Science Academy, Dr. Alan Foster and Dr. Diane Powell opened their research to a team of Cretan scientists. The technology that had once been kept secret was now being shared in the spirit of peace. "Your Nova Shield is remarkable," the lead Cretan scientist admitted. "We had nothing like it. And your faster-than-light communication system is something we never developed," Powell replied. "Together, we can build something greater than either of us created alone." Admiral Collins and Admiral Drex walked through the halls of the newly established Galactic Peacekeeping Headquarters. The facility, built in Earth orbit, housed representatives from both human and Cretan forces, now working together. "I've always wondered," Collins said, as they stopped by a viewport overlooking Earth. "When we sent that warning message at the beginning, telling you to run, why didn't the Empire listen?" Drex's expression was thoughtful. "For 1,000 years, no one had challenged us. We mistook your warning for bluster. And now we understand what we faced," Drex said quietly. "A species that evolved as protectors and defenders, with a creativity in warfare we had never encountered. You think differently than any species we know." "We didn't want war," Collins reminded him. "No," Drex agreed. "You warned us. You told us to run. Next time, I think anyone who receives such a warning from humans will take it very seriously indeed." They looked out at the peaceful blue planet below, home to a species that had proven itself to be both fierce in war and generous in peace. "To the future," Collins said. "To peace," Drex replied. The greatest war the galaxy had ever known was over, and both sides had learned a valuable lesson about underestimating an unknown enemy, especially one that had warned you to run.